right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's another Thursday night. It's another Thursday night, October the 23rd, and we have a wonderful, wonderful guest again with you all tonight. I want to tell you guys thank you for last week. You know that I was out of town traveling with my husband. And thank you to Nicole Elmo just for allowing me to have her to fill in the gap, so to speak. So thank you to Nico Elmo. But you know what? Things go on. I've shared some beautiful pictures with you all, and I have some more videos to share with you all as well. But tonight we are talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's October, and October is all pink. And we know that October is sentimental to everyone because everyone knows someone who is either fighting the battle, either lost the battle, and even won the battle against breast cancer. And today we are talking to a winner. We are talking to a winner, and her name is Tiranda Anderson, and she is from South Carolina, and from Aiken, South Carolina at that. And we're just going to have an intimate conversation with her about her battle with breast cancer, to her survivor and where she's at now. And she's such a beautiful lady with such a beautiful spirit. And I hear that she can cook as well. So, we just gonna dig in and just get in there and just learn all about Miss Anderson. But first, sip, tonight, I am just drinking on me some ginger ale. Toast to you, Miss Tiranda. Tonight, I want to introduce to everybody. This is Miss Tiranda Anderson. Tiranda, welcome to BYOB with Briggett. We are happy to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me, Briggett. It's such a pleasure to be on your platform. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, again, my name is Tiranda, and I am a mother of three daughters,
Mhm.
and I have five grandkids, and my hobbies are cooking, and I'm a former makeup artist, and I work in logistics, but at the same time, I'm just a busybody. I'm just traveling, and just enjoying life right now.
Okay. I always have to ask about the grandchildren. How many grandkids do you have?
I have five.
Five grandchildren? Oh, wow. So they keep you busy all the time.
Yes, they do.
Okay, because I'm a new grandmother as of last year, and then
Congratulations.
and then I have another one coming in December, and then I have another one coming in April. I'm like, golly, they took so long to make me a grandmama, and now they can't stop.
They come in threes. They come in threes.
They come in threes, and I tell you, mine is going to be stepstone grandkids like one, two, and three. So that's like I'm
Oh,
excited about that. And
yes,
cook a little bit as well, right?
ma'am.
So you cook as well, from my understanding.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That is one of my passions that is always been with me. And it's like a hobby that just smoothes me out. And so it just takes me away from regular life when I'm cooking. And I've
Okay,
always been like, just always want to be a giver. So um, yes, food is my passion. Cooking is my passion.
cooking is your passion. What's your favorite dish? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
I have to say my turkey and dressing, but as of now, it's been my seafood and chicken salad.
All right, all right. You
Yes.
got to get the turkey and dressing because that's my favorite dish to cook as well. The
Okay,
turkey and
yes.
dressing is my favorite dish to cook. So great, great,
Mhm.
great. So we're gonna head on into the show, and I'm gonna ask you a series of questions, and and you can share, uh, about your journey with breast cancer, and if you want to stop or pause or whatever, if a question that you're not comfortable answering or anything, just let me know, and we'll just go on to another question.
Okay.
Okay, so sip, what are you drinking on today?
I'm drinking on cranberry juice. I'm taking it easy today.
Taking it easy. All right.
Hmm.
You know what? It's Thursday night, and
Yes.
the ginger ale is fine because I have an early morning in the morning as well. So I
Okay.
be drinking, but I do wanna announce my sponsors. The Rankin Hour, who sponsors my wines for the week. So thank you to the Rankin Hour, and thank you very much for sponsoring our wine for this week and on through for the rest of the year. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So tell
Mhm.
me, Mr. Randall, what does Breast Cancer Awareness Month mean to you, and why
It,
is it important to you?
it's it's a series of all. It's important to me and it means a lot to me because this is a month where myself and my pink sisters and some brothers, we can't leave the men out too because some men do have breast cancer. It's just a month for us to be acknowledged and for us to bring a more awareness about breast cancer and just to remember the ones our pink sisters and brothers that we lost. And for our survivors, this is just a moment for us to reflect of how grateful we are and for to bring awareness to breast cancer and to see about the studies and to get more treatment on it.
Right, right. And
Mhm.
tell me this, I want to ask, you said about the Pink sisters and brothers that you lost along the way. Do you know anyone personally that has lost the battle with breast cancer?
I do. I know several young ladies that have lost the battle, and they was encouraging me. One in particular, my friend, her name was Rachel,
Okay.
and she lived in Florida, but we met through a group online. And so we became good friends. She was encouraging me. She was like, Tiranda, this was her second battle with breast cancer. And she was telling me, you need to do it a holistic way. That's the way that I'm going to do it. And I was like, I don't, I don't know. All I know is the chemotherapy and the radiation. And she was like, oh no, the doctor's just putting all kind of medicine in you. But I had to really reflect and make my decision for myself. And when I told her that I wanted to do it the traditional way, and she was like, okay, well, whatever you see fit. And it was hard. I did not even want to go to chemotherapy. I was 44 years old. And when I took the tour, it was hard. It was hard for me to walk through the tour and just to see patients laying out. And I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. But then one of my good friends, she was a nurse there, and she was like, Tiranda, you can do it. And the first one, I was real, I want to say I was angry. I was like, how did I allow myself to get here? But then after the third treatment, I came around because I was like, it's almost over. Even though it wasn't over, I knew it was going to be over sooner than later. So that's when I put my armor on, and I just start fighting and said, some days I did not want to get out of bed. I had three daughters and I could hear them at the door. Um, be quiet, mommy, getting rest. And I couldn't even lift a finger to even try to say, it's okay. It was days like that. So for me to be where I'm at now, it's nobody but God. Nobody
Nobody
but
but
God.
God. Nobody is but God.
Yes.
And I can
Mhm.
agree with that totally. You said your friend, one, I hear from several friends of mine who has fought the battle as well, and said
Mhm.
that those chat groups online are really helpful to them, and they make meaningful friendships
Yes.
from other ladies that's going through just like you in different states and even different countries. So those chat groups are so great to build up your strength to
Yes.
fight, because you know
Hmm.
you're not in it by yourself. And you said
Exactly.
also said the young lady that you met on the chat group, she talked about the holistic medication, the holistic way of doing things.
And she took that route. She took that route. She went over, I cannot remember the country that she went to. She went there and stayed 3 weeks. She
Okay.
FaceTimed me. And when
Mm-hmm.
she FaceTimed me, it looked just like heaven. I never been to, I never, but it was all white.
It was
She was
all
living
white.
in an all white condominium. They had everything white. They wore white every day. And she was like, you might want to consider it. And I was like, for the amount of money that it costs, I was like, I don't think so. And she was like, I feel good over here. And I tried to encourage her because that was her decision. That wasn't mine.
Right, right.
Um, but soon as she came back to the States, she told me she would call me. I never heard from her. And then I started calling and I didn't get an answer. And then she finally called me and said that when she got back to the States that it had spread it to her brain just that fast.
Wow, wow. And
Yes.
Tiranda, and I'm glad you brought that holistic part up
Mm-hmm.
because last week, last week I had my guest speaker for the week, and I was gonna have another young lady interview him, for the week. But I spoke with him first because I'm very leery about who I have on my show because my
Yeah.
show represents me. And the
Mm-hmm.
doctor that I had scheduled to come on Thursday night, he spoke only of holistic medication and he spoke against the chemotherapy, and he was from another country as well, and he told me what all that they do, when the individual comes to the country and what all they do, and it was like he was totally against the medication, the chemotherapy.
Yes.
And I spoke with him for about an hour, and he was actually set to come on the show on Thursday night. And I
Mm-hmm.
prayed about it, and I said, I don't want to put this information out on the holistic medication, and I don't want to give people false hope, wrong information, or anything. And he was from another country, even though
Mm-hmm.
he practices here in America as well. He's out in California,
Mm-hmm.
but I just had to wrestle with it with my spirit. And
Yes.
my spirit was telling me, no, this, you don't want him on your show. And
Mm-hmm.
by you saying that is just confirmation. And I'm so happy that you took the route because the medication that the doctors have right here, uh, they only have the power to do what God allows them to do, and God allows
Amen.
their hands to work for
Yes.
Him and for the good
Yes.
of Him, and
Mm-hmm.
not believe in man. And for some, if that's your choice to take the holistic way out, you're your own individual and you have
Yes.
your own choices. But
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes things just don't be the right way. And I'm
Yes.
just gonna go on to the next question. It says, when you was first diagnosed with breast cancer, and you said you answered that within the first question, what was your first reaction? So tell us about the anger that you said that you felt.
Well, the anger didn't come until later. When I got my diagnosis, I didn't take any family member because I was like, "Oh, he's just gonna tell me that it was benign. It's not breast cancer." They said, "You're sure you don't want anybody to go with you?" So I went and got the news by myself. So when the doctor sat down and he looked at me and he was like, "You got breast cancer," and I was numb. I was shocked.
Mhm.
Was I surprised? I wasn't surprised. And a lot of people say, why you wasn't surprised? Because I have battled a lot of, I've been in a lot of situations where I came out on top every time. I just figured this would be another medal for me to add to my jacket. So I was like, so what do I do now? And he told me he was like, you want to fight? I said, I want to fight. And see, I'm coming from, my dad was he was he had throat cancer.
Okay.
So yes, after the first chemo, my dad was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing it. So his doctor said, okay, you know what? We're going to go ahead. We're going to call in hospice. And that is how it's going to. So I had to think about that. I was like, Daddy said that was real hard. And I'm sure I want to go through that. But then I was like, I'm ready. So I started it. And like I said, after the tour, I was like, I was mad because I said, how did I allow myself? You start questioning yourself, even
Mhm.
though at the end of the day, nobody can say why I got it. It's just like, I don't know how, I don't know why. And like my doctor said, you could have ate right, you could have did everything right, and probably still would have ended up with it. So with that being said, I was like, I just got to go through it and fight.
Okay.
It was hard. Chemo was hard on me. It was hard,
So
but
tell
I got through it, and it just it's just one of those things that I never forget. I never forget how my body broke down. Regardless of the way that I felt, being a breast cancer, being a cancer patient or a survivor, I started looking at everyone when I was able to get out to the store. I used to put on a stocking cap, and I would try to go to the grocery stores. But then I started noticing people that looked like me. And I can't describe it. A person that's going through cancer knows someone, the look, it's a look.
us a look.
So I was in Kroger this particular day,
Mhm.
and I walked past this lady twice, and I just finally got the nerve. But she needed it. I
Mhm.
needed it, she needed it. And I said, "You look like me." Because she had a stocking cap on and our eyes, it's a certain look a cancer patient have. And she said, "I am." And we just hugged each other. And that's another friend who we became friends. We exchanged phone numbers. So we, you know, sometimes you got to make it work how it work.
That's
You
something.
know,
Build your own community, your own
yeah, you
circle.
have to build your own community
That's
because a
right.
lot of people, I'm not against people. No, mine was real quiet. I told friends, of course, my job knew, but they didn't know the in depth of it.
Right.
But my friends and family, if I said I didn't want anybody to know, they didn't tell anybody. They didn't say anything. And so some people didn't know I was out of work for a whole year. So when I got back to work, a lot of people didn't know because my closest friends, they had the oath. If it didn't
Right.
come from her, we're not telling. And
You're
that's
not
the way they did it. So at the end of the day, the village was there. I had the
the
village.
power of friendship. The
Yes,
power of
I
friendship.
really did.
That's
Yes.
right. So,
Mm-hmm.
were you the first in your family diagnosed with breast cancer? Or you had other relatives that was diagnosed?
Um, from I don't, in the Black community, that's one of the things that taboo. You don't talk about, you don't tell. It may have been, but it
Right.
wasn't something talked about.
Right.
It
Right.
wasn't talked about until, afterwards, and then you may hear such and such had it too, but that's when you supposed to tell. So when we go to the doctor, we can
Exactly.
say, somebody
Exactly.
had breast cancer in my family, but when you don't have nothing and when the question get asked, you can't answer, but no, I don't know anybody.
Because you know what? That is
Mhm.
all part of the Black culture.
Yes.
We keep things in and we don't talk about it, and we sweep
Hmm.
things under the rug, so to speak.
Yes.
And you don't know when you have your children, your grandchildren, or your siblings have their children and grandchildren. We all
Yeah.
come from that same branch. So we need
Exactly.
to know that medical history. So when they
Yes.
ask questions, do you have someone in your family that had breast cancer? Instead of saying no, I can say, yeah, my aunt had it,
Yes.
or my niece had it, or
Hmm.
something like that. But we go in and then it doesn't help our medical history for our doctors as well, because we keep things, mums is the word, so to speak. We're not going to say anything. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to share it.
Yes.
So that is something that you're absolutely right that the Black family and African American family have to get accustomed to sharing some things to
Yes.
benefit the future of our family as well. So
Yes.
tell me this here, then what was the most surprising or unexpected part of the experience with your breast cancer treatment and recovery? What was the most surprising part of it, and the unexpected part?
Um, that I would not be the same person. That the old Tiranda is no longer there. Um,
That's beautiful.
it's no longer the Tiranda that worry about what anybody thinks or says about her.
Mhm.
Tiranda lived for Tiranda and my kids and my grandkids and my family. I don't care what the world says about Tiranda.
Mhm.
Before before I was like, oh, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't cut my hair down because this color don't do. Tiranda do what Tiranda want to do now. I've earned that right in so many ways. So I think that's what it is. I got a little now. Back then,
Uh-huh.
Tiranda was kind of passive. You can't get over Tiranda Michelle Anderson if you wanted to at this moment. Not at all.
Wonderful. Wonderful. You gotta you regain your strength and your confidence and say,
Yes.
hey, this is the way it's gonna be from now on out. All
Yes.
right. I love
Hmm.
it. I love it. How did getting diagnosed change your perspective on life, on what is most important to you now? And did you answer that question with the last question? It's all about you and your family now. You don't care
Hmm.
what anyone thinks. So beyond the medical treatment, what was the most meaningful form of support you received, and what role did it play in your recovery?
I had an excellent medical team.
Oh,
I I really did. I really did. Besides my family and friends, um, they became my family. They became my extended family. Some days I would come in and they would just motivate me. All right, you only got so many more left to do. You can do it. It was one of those things. And so they was kind of like my cheerleaders.
right.
Um, and while I was going, because at going through chemo, we're there almost all day.
Mm-hmm.
So being there all day, and I met the person next to me. We would have conversations. So it was like we built, like you said, we built our community within, even
Right.
though I was the youngest one, I think, in my group. And so one lady told me, she was like, "How old are you?" I could tell she was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was scared to say, I was like, "I'm getting treatment." She was like, "No, you're not supposed to be here." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "I'm here."
Right.
And then I think she had that same bitterness, but then before the end, we became so close.
All
Nurse
right.
was like, "You didn't come today because when my sales wasn't up or down, she was like, you didn't come today." And Miss such and such, she was like, where is she at? So, you get through. Everybody goes through that moment where we don't want to be there, but we know we got to do it.
Right.
And
Right.
that's just what it came down to.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I was told just the medical team in the breast cancer facilities, they are always just like the best, and just
Yes.
handle everything with like with soft hands and soft hearts
Hmm.
to be there. So was
Yes.
there a moment during your treatment that you felt like giving up?
I did. I did. I told you I had 5 grandbabies. Um, During my treatment in April 2019 on Easter, my daughters and my grandkids was in a car accident and we lost my granddaughter.
Oh no.
She was a twin to my grandson at 4. So I was going through treatment then. Um, so that Monday after Easter, I had treatment and I said, I'll just go with my grandbaby Kylie. Why am I here?
Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that.
I have to say, um, so I went to my treatment. Everybody was looking at me. My whole staff was looking. They was like, "Why are you here?" And I said, my voice couldn't even talk. And I said, "I need to get my treatment." And my oncologist, he came out the door. He said, "No, no, you can't. We heard about what happened." But
Wow.
at the same time, I knew I needed to fight even harder to be
Right.
here for my daughter and my grandson and my kids. And so that's why the fight got even more important to fight it. And so at the same time, I'm sorry I'm crying.
Oh
At the
no, no, oh no. And if this is uncomfortable for you to talk about, then we can go on to the next question. But you're fine.
Okay,
You're
yes, but
fine.
at the same time, it was one of those things where I say if I'm being tested, the devil trying to get me to give up. And that's when I knew the fight was really on. And so that's what got me through. That's what got me through a lot of things that still get me through. Knowing
Right.
that I'm fighting for, I'm fighting for the remembrance of the bring awareness, and I'm also fighting to say it's gonna be okay. One day, one day.
I tell you, well, you know what? God bless your strength. God bless your strength because when you said that your dad didn't want to fight, and but you was gonna put on that full metal jacket.
Mhm.
I mean, your jacket is full of metal and armor. The strength that you
Mhm.
had. I had no idea that you lost a grandbaby in the process of it all. So I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear
Thank
that.
you.
So
Mhm.
now, my last question: are you a part of any groups now? Any pink groups now with the pink ladies? And do you go out and do any volunteer work and spread the word to other ladies that's going through what you're going through, what you went through?
Yes, I'm part of a chapter
Mm-hmm.
of Pink. I had an organization, Pink Out Loud, and I swayed away from it because it had got kind of um it wasn't organized what how I wanted to be. So I'm trying to
Right.
sway back towards that. And then anybody who I see, I I tell anybody who know me, I have people that inbox me. Tiranda, can you talk to somebody? I'm like a walking ministry. So it's not even about being a part of a group. It's just that just spreading the word on a daily basis
Just telling your
about bringing
testimony.
awareness.
That's
Yes.
right. Good testimony
Hmm.
right there. Just bringing awareness.
Yes.
I tell you, when I reached out to you, you had mentioned something about you surviving breast cancer, and your picture was just so beautiful, just so
Thank you.
radiant. With
Hmm.
your hair was definitely just beautiful, and you holding those flowers, and I have that picture posted on Facebook as well, like in one of the
Yeah.
videos. And I said, I'm gonna reach out to her and see if she would be on. I said, she's from my home state. I'm gonna see if she'll be on my show with me. And like I
Yeah.
said, I didn't tell my sister that you were coming on the show. So so
Uh-huh.
I asked her, did she know you or whatever? And but I did not realize that I was going to speak to such a powerful, strong woman as I did. I came on here to talk with you about breast cancer and your survival with breast cancer, but you survived just so much more than the breast cancer, doing your lowest point in life. So,
Yes.
God blessings to you. Here
Thank
at BYOB, we want to tell you thank you for being a part of our show and now a part of our family. Is there anything else you would like to say to the audience before we leave you?
I would like to tell the audience that um, just live life, just live life, um, and please do self checks. Um, you know your body. You know your body better than anybody. If something feels off, please go get it checked out because you never know what it might be. I just say, just be aware of your own body and don't think no question is a dumb question. If you need it and work, it's not. Oh, I mean, I had 3 mammograms. Three.
Mm-hmm.
I found my lump when on my own.
Oh, wow.
It got passed through on the mammogram. So with that being said, just don't take anything lightly, but at the same time, don't be scared of the unknown.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
you all heard it first from Miss Tiranda Anderson. Tiranda, thank you so much for being on the show once
You're
again.
welcome.
Appreciate you all. So, ladies and gentlemen, you all heard it first from Miss Tiranda Anderson. Make sure you get tested. Make
Yes.
sure you get tested, and don't just rely on the mammogram. Do your self check at home. But she gave the best advice. Do your self check, take your mammogram, but first of all, take the first step after everything is either good, bad, or indifferent on whatever your results are. Live life to the fullest and live life for yourself.
Yes.
And with that being said, we're going to wrap this session up for tonight. This is Bridget at BYOB, your host. And I would like to say, remember to always love yourself in spite of your flaws. Thank you,
Yes.
Miss Miranda. God
You're
bless.
welcome. Thank you.
See you guys next week.